For 17 years, he went to work. He came home. He attended his kids' events. He paid his taxes. He was a licensed architect in Manhattan. He had a wife, a house on Long Island. And for those same 17 years, he was also killing women. What makes Rex Heuermann different from most serial killers in history isn't just what he did. It's how ordinary he looked doing it. And honestly, the part that still bothers me even now is what finally caught him. It wasn't a witness. It wasn't a confession. It wasn't even brilliant detective work at first. It was a pizza crust. Let me take you back to 2010. Long Island, New York. A stretch of coastal road called Ocean Parkway, running right alongside Gilgo Beach. Beautiful place, actually. The kind of spot tourists photograph in summer. But in December of 2010, police were out there for a very different reason. A 23-year-old woman named Shannon Gilbert had gone missing. She was a sex worker. She called 911 from a nearby neighborhood in a panic, screaming that someone was trying to kill her, and then she just vanished. Police came, searched, found nothing. But as they searched those marshes and scrublands along Ocean Parkway, looking for her, they found something else entirely. Bodies, 4 of them, wrapped in burlap, hidden in the brush just off the road. Close enough that cars drove past them every single day for years. Melissa Barthelemy, 24. Megan Waterman, 22. Amber Lynn Costello, 27. Maureen Brainard-Barnes, 25. Then more remains emerged. Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack, Sandra Costilla. The timeline started pushing back further and further. We're not just talking about 2010 anymore. We're talking 2007, 2003, 2000, all the way back to 1993. 17 years, at minimum. And here's what gets me. Most of these women had been reported missing. Someone noticed they were gone. But because they were sex workers, vulnerable women on the margins, their disappearances weren't treated with the same urgency. The investigation moved slowly. Then it stalled. Then, for years, it went cold entirely. The families were left waiting, wondering, getting no answers. By 2022, a new multi-agency task force was formed. Fresh eyes on old evidence. And fairly quickly, something clicked. A witness had reported seeing a distinctive pickup truck near the home of one of the victims, Amber Lynn Costello, around the time she disappeared. It was a green Chevrolet Avalanche, unusual enough to remember, and when investigators ran it through records, it came back registered to a man named Rex Heuermann. Now at this point, Heuermann is just a name on a list. But the more they look, the more it feels like something is there. He's an architect, runs his own firm in Midtown Manhattan, not some sketchy operation, an actual established business. Investigators start surveilling him. Quietly, carefully, they begin tracking his movements, his phone, his digital footprint. And what they find, I keep thinking about this, is that this man was obsessed with the Gilgo case. In a 14-month window, he made over 200 searches about the investigation. Searching for updates, searching for evidence, following every development. Killers who do this, criminologists call it trolling the investigation, staying close to it, part arrogance, part paranoia. But here's where things break open. Investigators needed DNA, something they could definitively tie to the scene, and they had to be clever about how they got it. They couldn't just knock on his door and ask for a sample. So they waited. One day, Heuermann is near his Manhattan office. He buys pizza, completely normal, completely routine, and he tosses the crust in a trash can outside. Investigators retrieve it. They extract DNA from that discarded pizza crust, and they run it against genetic material found in the burlap bags used to wrap the victims. It matches. On July 13, 2023, Rex Heuermann walks out of his Manhattan office after work.
Police! Don't move!
He's immediately taken into custody, and his world, this carefully constructed, decades-long double life, collapses in seconds. After his arrest, investigators searched his home in Massapequa Park, and what they found deepened everything considerably. On his computer, hidden deep in his files, Prosecutors say they discovered what they described as a blueprint for the killings. Checklists, reminders to himself, notes about limiting noise, cleaning evidence, disposing of bodies. He had documented this, in writing, on a computer. To me, that is the strangest thing in this entire case, because it speaks to a level of methodical coldness that I genuinely struggle to wrap my head around. This isn't impulsive. This isn't chaotic. This is organized, planned, refined over years. And then there's the phone call. Melissa Barthelemy disappeared in 2009. She was 24. Her younger sister, Amanda, was 15 at the time. In the days after Melissa vanished, someone called Amanda from a burner phone, taunted her, made cruel, specific comments. The family reported it but had no way to trace it. That burner phone was later traced back to Heuermann. Sit with that for a moment. While this family was in agony, while a 15-year-old girl was desperately trying to find her missing sister, he called her, just to watch the fire burn. In April 2026, Rex Heuermann pleaded guilty to 7 murders. He also admitted to an 8th, Karen Vergata. A victim investigators hadn't even formally connected to him yet. He volunteered that information. Whether that's genuine remorse or a calculated legal move, I honestly don't know. Probably some of both. And as part of his plea deal, he agreed to cooperate with the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, the Profiling Division. He's going to help them understand how someone does this for 17 years without getting caught. He's going to help them potentially identify other killers. That part, at least, might do some good. On June 17, 2026, Rex Heuermann stood in a Suffolk County courtroom and heard the words, "Life in prison without parole." Judge Timothy Motzi asked him, "Are you sorry?" "Yes," Heuermann said. "I am." The judge's response, "You are a disgusting, despicable, and small man.
And you're a coward."
And you are a coward. As he was led out, the families of his victims erupted. Applause. Some chanting. 17 years of grief and silence finally given a moment to breathe. But here's the thing I can't stop thinking about. Shannon Gilbert, the woman whose disappearance started this entire investigation, she was never one of Heuermann's victims. Her death was ruled accidental drowning. She's the reason they started searching. She's the reason those women in the burlap bags were ever found. Her vanishing, tragic and unresolved in its own way, accidentally blew the lid off one of the longest-running serial murder cases in American history. And there's still a question that hasn't been fully answered. Are there more victims? The timeline spans 3 decades. The geography is wide. And Rex Heuermann is now in a cell, cooperating with the FBI. What else does he know? What else has he done that we don't know about yet? That's the part that keeps this case from ever feeling fully closed. I want to say something before I wrap up. Every victim in this case had a name, had a family, had someone who loved them and waited for answers. Melissa Barthelemy's mother, Megan Waterman's daughter, Maureen Brainard-Barnes' children, who were 1 and 7 years old when she disappeared, who had to grow up without her and then sit in that courtroom as adults and give a statement about what that felt like. Justice happened, and it matters. But Joe and Mac, Valerie Mac's mother, said it best in that courtroom. Justice has been done, but it can't replace what has been taken. No, it can't. If you've been following this case for years, or if this is the first you're hearing about it, I genuinely love to know. What do you think? Do you believe there are more victims out there? And do you think cooperating with the FBI was a genuine act of remorse, or just a deal he made to get something? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. If you're new here, this is what we do. We take these cases seriously. We talk about real people, not just crime puzzles. Subscribe if that's something you want more of, and I'll see you in the next one.